everyone, to this edition of the Podium Player Interview Series. We'll be interviewing players competing in the upcoming All-Star Bowl. Today's guest is Clarke University Defensive Lineman Javaris Jackson. Javaris, it's great to have you on.
Great to be on.
The first thing I want to ask you, talking about the bowl game, the Podium Bowl coming up in January, just how are you preparing for that, and maybe what it meant to you to get that opportunity and invite to compete, in front of scouts from a whole bunch of different leagues?
So how I've been preparing is more so. So I, of course, we on Christmas break. I locked in on my trainer back in Michigan. So I just been just working to get in the best shape that I can, leading up to the next 3 weeks. And the opportunity it meant a lot because I wasn't expecting it before the season. So, and now that I see the opportunity of what it could bring, feel good to be able to come out and compete.
Yeah. Did you get maybe any advice from coaches or maybe teammates or anybody like that on maybe what to expect and maybe how to handle yourself or anything like that from scouts?
Yeah. So Micah Nack, he's my teammate. He's coming out to the Podium Bowl as well. And we kind of just bounced ideas off each other and like what to expect. And my coach is just super supportive, and it was more so just that motivated us to just go out and give 100% effort for real. My mom and my parents and my family it's motivated me for sure too.
Yeah, and you mentioned family. Just how important is your family to you? Maybe for football and maybe off the field. Also, maybe did they push you in any way for football? And just what does your family mean to you?
My family mean everything to me. Honestly, they didn't really push me to football. They just pushed me to be something. So like that's what it bring us together because I play football. So it's more so like I'm the only person in my family to actually like play football and now to like have potential to take it to another level. So it's more so just exciting because it's something new in my family. And my grandmother, she's like big on like football and stuff. So that's what keep me going.
Awesome. Was football always a sport for you? Just maybe when did you get into football, and maybe also what also inspired you? Was it maybe a player you saw on TV or a family member?
So I didn't. So I used to think I was gonna go to the NBA growing up. So in 7th grade, so in Michigan, you don't really start tackle football until like 7th grade. You could play flag and stuff. It's other leagues and stuff, but you have to pay for them and stuff. But I wasn't really interested in playing anyways. And in 7th grade, my coach, I was the biggest dude in the hallway, and he came up to me and was talking to me and got me out to practice. And the feeling that I got from being able to hit somebody and not getting in trouble was what I fell in love with. And then I just start as I start playing more, I got better at it. And then I just seen what it could do for me, for sure.
Yeah. And playing on the line, was that something also you wanted to do? Because when people say offensive or even defensive line, they don't get enough credit or anything like that. Was that something you wanted to do, be a part of the line?
Yeah, in middle school, I played, like when I first started, I was an offensive. I played O-line. I liked it, but I didn't really like it. But when I started playing D-line, that's when I really started to like playing on the line. And then once I got to college, high school, I played the 3-tech. But when I got to college is when I really start like falling in love with playing with line, because once I learned different sets and what my position do for a linebacker and like how important my role is, that's when I really start liking it. When I start playing those and like just down, just handling the line of scrimmage, that's a good feeling. To have a linebacker with 12 or 15 tackles, that's a good feeling for sure.
Yeah. And maybe during game day, maybe what's your mindset? Like, how do you get prepared for the game? Just, are you alone on the bus listening to music? Are you talking to teammates? Just, what's your mindset like?
Music. Yeah, I listen to music before the game, and in the morning I read. I read the daily verse and stuff like that. So that's what get me going. And then before the game, I talk to them. I always FaceTime my mom and my grandma, and we talk before the game, and then that's what kind of get me going. A lot of people have different like structures and stuff. I just be chilling. I think relaxing is best for me.
Also, I want to go a little bit, you mentioned college and everything. Just how was that, going from high school to college, maybe that whole recruiting process and being able to play college football? Because you mentioned you wanted to play basketball and then you get an offer, to play college football. Just how was that whole process like?
Yeah, so I actually stopped playing basketball in middle school. Once I started playing football, I automatically stopped playing basketball. But so in high school, that's when I really I started going to camps and stuff, and I started seeing guys get offers and go off to school, and just seeing them come back with their jumpsuit on and body transformation and stuff like that. That's what made me really want to go and play ball. But the transition from me getting from high school to college was kind of different because I go to a smaller school, so recruiting was different for me because I had to go and camp a lot. I camped a lot in high school. But me getting to the transition was more so it was like a reality check once I actually got to college, because I realized it was guys that was way bigger and stronger and flat out better than me. And that was the best. I didn't like it at the moment, but that was the best thing that happened to me as a freshman, to get pancaked for the first time.
Yeah, I was going to mention, how was that maybe the first couple months, now you're playing college football. Was it difficult for you? And maybe also the speed of the game, because that's a lot what players talk about, the speed is, completely different no matter what level you're at.
Yeah, so as far as the speed, coming from high school to college, my first camp, it was it was NAI, so it was 2 days, two a day. It felt like practices was never going to end. My leg, everything on my body that could hurt was hurting. It was more so mentally. I wasn't I was prepared physically, but I wasn't. So you know how you can prepare, but when you put pads and stuff on, that's a whole different ball game. But for the most part, it was a cool experience though, for sure.
Awesome. Well, also we want to talk about, mention, to any of the scouts, coaches, even GMs watching, just wanted to ask you maybe what separates you from maybe other players competing in these bowl games and, across the nation?
I'm willing to put the work in for it, and I'm willing to do whatever I have to do for the team. And I think my position speaks for me, and in all, because playing the nose, you kind of have to be an unselfish player. So I like putting it on the line for the team, and just to see results. And I do the things, the little. At Clarke, we emphasize the little things. So I just try to do good at everything that I be a part of, and being a good teammate for sure.
Awesome. And also, being on the D line, what are the flashy things you would like to talk about? Getting sacks and everything like that. But how important is it? And maybe also for you, maybe stopping the run, doing the tackles people don't really notice, getting that 1-2 yard loss. Just how do you focus on that, compared to, getting, sacks and, what the flashy stats?
It comes down to just knowing my role, and knowing that, we got speed guys for that. And if I make that play, I'm supposed to make that play as far as sacks. But when it comes to runs, it feels good to force the running back to bounce to another gap and get tackled by another guy that wasn't supposed to make that play, or just stopping the whole play behind the line of scrimmage. And I may not make the play, but me manhandling my man may have caused somebody else to come free to make a play. So that's the feeling that I like, and that, people that know football, it shows on the tape, but it don't show up on the stat sheet all the time, for sure. But that's what I enjoy about it.
And are there any maybe guys in the NFL you look at some of their film, you try to take some of their game, put it into yours?
Vita Vea and Sue. the Dominican. So just because they was bigger guys and they played the zero, they like dominated the zero tech when they played, and just the whole standpoint from just playing from sideline to sideline as bigger guys is kind of rare. So those the guys that I look at.
Yeah, and also how is it, when you're on a team and you're being looked at as a leader, maybe by your coaches, at Clarke, they see you with a leader. Maybe were there any times you had to go and they tell you to talk to maybe some of the younger guys, maybe freshmen, sophomores?
Actually, so it's different types of leaders. I'm one of those guys where I just pull you to the side and talk to you, like, from man, I'm receptive towards that type of leadership, because you already have coaches breaking you down, and if you already beating yourself up. So I'm one of those guys where, like, I'd rather be there to support you and just more so like motivate you to fix the play, because anybody that play ball know when they mess up. So you already beat yourself up. So my leadership is just to give you that respect, by, like, not name calling, and just ripping you out. Coach already ripping you out. So I just try to build my teammates up by just encouraging them.
Awesome. Well, we're getting to the nearing end of the interview. We're gonna ask just a couple more questions. Making it to the league. Hopefully, you do. A great player, great person. If you do get 1 sack in the NFL, let's say you only get one, what quarterback would it have to be against?
For sure, Matt Stafford.
Okay. Why
Yeah,
Matt?
Because of Matt. Matt, he was I'm from Michigan. He was. Yeah.
Yeah.
You get it. You get the gist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The next question I wanted to ask you, a little fun one. You're up there in Michigan. How are you getting prepared for the weather down here in Miami? Is that something new to you? Getting ready. January and shorts and t-shirts.
Yeah, this will be my first time actually being in Miami during the winter time, for sure. So I haven't really emphasized on preparing. I just been doing a lot of like conditioning and training and drill specific work. I think that's gonna be the that's one thing that I'm gonna have to adjust to, but I think that'll be a quick adjustment for the better, for the betterment.
The last question I wanted to ask you, I ask this to every guest. How do you define greatness?
I think greatness is defined by the work that you put in when nobody else watching, who you are when nobody else around, and when the camera's away, and really just how you carry yourself and everything that you do. I think how you do one thing is how you do everything. So I think that's how I define greatness. Everybody define it different, but I think it's more so just how what you do with the opportunities you get and how you treat people.
Well, Javaris, that's a great answer. We wish you the best of luck in the bowl game coming in Miami. Good luck in front of the scouts. We know you're going to do well, and looking forward to meeting you and seeing you compete.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I appreciate you for having me.
No problem, man. Have a great day.
You too. Thank you.